Good morning and welcome back to the Home Renovation Experts. Steve here on this beautiful, beautiful garden room build. Now, for those who've been following, you'll know that if Sparky has been in, he's done his first fix. I'll show some cabling. Look, bits and pieces. So you've got two lights above the desk here, two lights above the desk here on a separate switch, two here, a couple of sockets down there with the data cable so they can plug in the laptops. Same over this side. There's a double socket wire over here, there's one a bit below there. So the reason I didn't film too much of that on Friday was because actually it's not my Sparky, so I didn't want to engage him in videos because sometimes people just don't like that. But yeah, he's done a fantastic job, lovely guy. And you can see this is where the fuse board's going to go, just in this recess here. So it's all right back to this point. Fuse board is going on the storage section over that way. So my mission, should I choose to accept it, which I have to, is to get this vapour barred and then plasterboarded today because my plaster is due in tomorrow morning. So I'm up against the gun. This is going to be good fun, and that rhymed every time. I couldn't help it. Right, so I'll get the vapour barrier in. I'll show you how you fit that. I'm going to be using one of these little nail gun, which is very nice, which uses these lovely 10, 12 mil, can't remember, 10 mil. These little staples. So I use that to tack it all up. And then joint the bits and where it kind of joins. I'll then put some tape across it. Beautiful job done. So I'm going to go crack on. Hopefully the client will be up in a minute. I'll get a cup of tea because just swept this out because Spark is notoriously messy. Actually, it wasn't too bad, but he did leave a lot of shavings everywhere. So I've just swept it out. So I've got a bit of dust in my throat. So a cup of tea, cup of coffee, go down a treat right now. So right, time to crack on. So this is the vapour barrier. Lovely, lovely stuff. Really thin, but happy days, it does what it needs to do. This stuff is from Wix. You can just see it there, vapour barrier polythene, which is very nice. So what grade is this one? 125, yeah, 125 micron. So that's basically the thickness of the vapour barrier. They come in different thicknesses, but this is absolutely spot on for what we're doing. So basically, going to roll this about a little bit and get a bit of cut to get it on the roof. Easy way to cut this stuff, it's quite simple. Roll it out, we're going to need it. In my case, I'll leave it overhanging by about yay much, a couple hundred mil. So that way I know when this is on the ceiling, it'll come down to sort of about there, give or take. So obviously this end, I'll just bring it up a bit, slice the knife through it, and then yeah, I know I can get that straight up and it's going to fit this space beautifully. So what I do first is climb underneath it so I can tack the first bit to the joist, just like that. You just see one tack on every joist. Then what I can do, drop my mallet, is literally pull it back like so, and then just walk the length underneath it, just tacking as I go. So that's the way to do it. It's actually not too bad. It's just going to be just a bit short, but that's absolutely fine and dandy. That's no problem. So yeah, that's the first one done. Once you've done a bit, it makes it a bit easier. I mean, it's still flopping in your head, but not as bad. Then I just run one length like that, see, all the way through, and now I kind of get into my little tent. Beautiful. And then I just walk the length of the next one, keep it taut as I go. Tack, 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 all the way through, fold this bit back across here, do the same again. Hey, the job is a good one. It's quite cosy in here now as well. So, there you can see, big chunk of the ceiling is now done. You see it's hanging down lovely at both ends, bit there, bit there. I put a couple of tacks in this side as well just to keep this up. But what we want to do is when you push, well, when you're about to tack this, make sure you push that right in the corner. Because what you don't want to do is have like a slight curve, because when you put your plasterboard up, it was just being pushed into the corner then. So make sure you've got plenty of give so you can still get like the plasterboard tight up in there, as opposed to like a little curved bit, which is a pain in the arse to get later on. We don't like pains in the arse, we like it to run smoothly. So that was done. So what I'm going to do is now, I'll get this wall cut, I'll get this wall cut, get those tacked up, and then those little bits across there, and that little tiny bit above the ceiling. I'll just get made out of a little piece that's left over. So, right, here we go. Also, the other thing to do, while you've got access, like I said, I cleaned up the floor and that, but also clean up inside all these joints, right? Because there's loads of like dust and dirt and shite and crap and all kinds of horribleness. So get it all cleaned out so you know you've got a nice clean internal wall before you fit. And yeah, it's not the end of the world if you leave some crap in there, but at the same time, what it also does is it trains you to clean these edges, because sometimes you'll leave like tools and bits and pieces on there. Like for example, my plasterboard rasper was just lying on there, chilling out, and I'd have been a bit upset if I buried that in the wall with vapour barrier and then plasterboard it and gone, where the bloody hell's my rasper gone? That'd have been a pain. So there you go. What I actually did here was just made it a bit longer, this one, so I can actually bring it around the corner, and I brought it up across the seat as well, which saves cutting a stupid little bit. So again, plenty of space for the plasterboard to go into that recessy bit. Jobs are good, thank you very much. Tacked up, beautiful. That'll get folded and taped into that sort of space like that. Beautiful, and happy days. Now, there is this thing, and I get this all the time, people go, you know, vapour barrier, great, but, you know, you've got holes for the sockets and stuff like that, you know, cut them out. It's not really completely vapour barrier. No, it's not. But at the end of the day, this isn't living quarters and stuff like that. It's just like an occupational thing. They'll come in, do the bits and pieces in the office, and they go out again. So the question is, do you really need to do it? Well, yeah, why not? I mean, yeah, you've got a slight break across the sockets and stuff like that, but it's not the end of the world, and it just helps a little bit. It's just an extra layer, so it helps with insulation. Not much sound deadening, but you know what I mean? It's just one of those things kind of go, it's worth spending the time doing it, so it's in and done, all right? And if you want to be really pedantic about it, you can actually cut this back a bit further and wrap tape and connect it onto the sockets as well. So there are ways around it, but you're also going to get breaks. You get breaks when you put the bloody lights in it. You can't have the lights, right, unless you go surface mounted, but then you've got a low ceiling, you'll be back in your head, right? It is what it is, right? But again, extra layer, go the extra hog, job is a good one. So, that was that done. And now flip over this side, do the same again across there, so I'll just overlap it. And then I'll start doing some plasterboarding. Oh, exciting. Right, that is it. Kind of vapour barrier. Taped up at the joints now, all in one place. Happy bloody days. Now I can't do that yet because I can't be bothered moving all that for the sake of it. So what I'll do is I'll do that little piece, that little corner when I kind of get to it. But I'm going to make it a bit easy for myself and I'll shift all this. I'll start putting the ceiling up and that kind of naturally moves it. And I've got to move it twice. You know, all that kind of stuff, working it all out anyway. So what I'm going to do is keep myself set up. I'll get me props in here as well. And then, yeah, I'll do that. But one thing I forgot to say earlier, well, to be fair, I just did it myself anyway. Now you can see the noggins kind of coming across here, like this, and beautiful. Don't forget to mark on the floor where they actually are, because obviously, once you kind of push the plasterboard up into place, you won't know exactly where they are. So if you mark on the floor, you'll know exactly where to vertically mark up your level lines, so you know where you're hitting a screw every single time, a piece of wood every single time, which is a lot easier. And that's kind of it really. So yeah, I'm gonna get my props out and then start getting some of this up. Here we go. So how do you get it up? No jokes. First what I do is I lean two of these on the wall with, like I say, a bit of clearance, like an inch or two, and then just leave these two up against that wall there. So I get it up on my head, get that angle in, these two then support it, and then as I kind of under here, got it on my head, grab the first one, put it in place, click it up, grab the other one, get it in place, click it up, and it's done. So that is now supported. So all I'll do is I'll take these bits and just click those up a bit more. You get as close to the as possible. No, it's basically there anyway. And then what I'll do is to start putting my screws in. So what I did before, and if you watch my earlier videos on the actual build of the structure, I measured from there to give me 1.2 for the centre of this joist here. Could you see that? So I've got fixing there perfect, fixing ready for there. That's ready to carry the next one, 1.2 over that way. Okay, so at this stage of boarding, I'm now having to remember exactly, just before I start, I didn't start this end. I was like, right, I know I've done this properly, so I measured from there to there, didn't quite hit the 1.2. I knew measuring from that way to that way, I was going to be on 1. Same for the wall. So I know that this board will go first into here, and then this board coming this direction will come just off of the actual 12mm. It's going to take up off of the wood there. For planning, it just makes it easier, and it means I'm hitting the studs every single time. I'm not going to have any floating boards, because then you have to chop them, and it just takes a bit of extra time. The time you spend planning it will save you more time in the long run. So yeah, so there you go. That's it propped up. I'll get it screwing up. And like I say, now it's all propped up, what I've done is noggin mark. I know that's going to be in line with that one. Marked it. Come over this end. I know where the it's going to be there. Joist, put a mark, and then run a level mark through it. So now, when I'm putting my screws in, I'm not kind of guessing what the bloody hell is it. I know exactly where it is, so I get to fix it every time. So yeah, another little top tip. Well, that's not bad. There you go. Sitting nearly in, so from one side to the other is now done. Ooh, nice. So I've just got this tiny little bit to do there, so I'll get up in a second. But I've got enough cut here, ready to go for that. So that's not too bad. So that's how you jack them, get them up on your Todd. And that is the worst part done now, because that's obviously all the big thank you. That's all the big heavy boards done. So from this point forward, it gets a bit easier, a bit lighter, which I do like, because it is Sunday, you know, you don't want to be too heavy working, just a nice amount of working. So, I think the client's going to bring up a cup of tea in a second, so I'll drink that, and then I'll crack on and start cracking on some walls. That's not doing too bad now. There we go, look, there's walls. One nearly done, like I say, I don't know why I'll do that one in a second, but this one now is coming along. Now, I know you're going to ask me, because everyone does. You go, Steve, you know, considering you've got like the angle and stuff like that, how do you take that into account? How do you work that out? Simple. Obviously, you can take a measurement from there because you've got a board down to the floor, nice and easy. But to get this one, well, how do you measure from? You're right, my little apprentice. Measure 1.2 meters from there, which is the width of the board, over to wherever it's going to be. Do a pencil mark, boom, and then take a tape measure from there to the floor, or from the floor up to the top. You know exactly where you're measuring to then, and that'll give you the exact size cut you need to get the perfect angle running down there. And there you go. One plasterboarded office. Ready now for my plasterer tomorrow to come in and do what he needs to do. Very shafty. And now a little thing I did, because I thought, you know, I've got a tiny bit of time before I need to get back, so it's like, right, one little job. Putting the installation there and there. Obviously this was an open space for those who've been watching. I've been walking through it for ages, and you can see the main cable, like I said earlier, coming down for the feed. But look, all in, cut around it, and top tip, never put expanded foam near where the main cable's coming, because the sparkies don't like it, they need to move stuff and blah blah blah. But I have padded it with a bit like fibre rock wool, so you know, again, just keeping that insulation, keeping that thermal insulation going as much as possible. All sort of foamed in as well, so this wall's now ready for tomorrow to close up. So yeah, the plan for tomorrow will be plaster inside, doing his bits and pieces. I'll close off the back wall here now, and this wall, so that's done and dusted, and then crack on with a bit more cedering, which has been absolutely beautiful. So I hope you like what you've seen. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all those bits and pieces that you guys can do. Don't forget to jump over to TikTok, have a look there. I'm trying to get my numbers up. I've got 44 followers. It's big numbers, but I'd like it to be at least 45. So if you wouldn't mind just nipping over there and just pressing the button, that'd be awesome. In the meantime, have a nice one. I'll see you tomorrow.